you? Do you like pirates? Are you over the legal drinking age? Are you a fan of the nerdcore band that does my intro 2d6? Are you going to be in the general area of Richfield, Ohio on the weekend of October 5th, 2019? If the answer to all of those is yes, then you need to bring yourself to the gaming convention Con on the Cob to join us for Project Derailed, Spellhammer, Pirate Party, starring 2d6. We have a nerdcore band. We have booze for those who will be over the illegal drinking age and can drink responsibly. We have questionable costumes. So please, come join us October 5th, 2019 at Con on the Cob for Project Derailed, Spellhammered, Pirate Party, starring 2d6.
Lights top,
When you're in PC,
lights rock.
when you depend on me,
To give you
weapons
weapons,
and armor, information for your journey, and still you still pushing and trying to hurt me.
Lights top,
When you're in PC,
lights rock.
So, right now, I'm sure you're asking yourself a very important question, which is, Tanner, you usually don't do episodes like this on Crit or Miss. Now, is the fact that you are spotlighting Spelljammer on your show have anything to do with the fact that there is a Spelljammer-themed space pirate party going on at Con on the Cob, October 5th, 2019, just a week from whenever this video is going to be put up online? Or the fact that Project Derailed is very soon going to be releasing a podcast featuring a D&D game that is based in Spelljammer for the Project Derailed website. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? Of course that we're here to talk about Spelljammer because of that. Yeah, I'm not trying to hide it here, but hear me out. Spelljammer is a seriously cool concept and is definitely worth some serious spotlighting on the show for being one of the most unique and enduring aspects of classical advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I wouldn't be surprised if 5th edition got a Spelljammer game in the extreme near future. All things considered, it's been hinted at a few times. I mean, most notably in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which actually had a Spelljammer ship. So, you know, for this video, let's put the crit or misses aside, and let's actually talk about Spelljammer, because it is a seriously cool concept that blends fantasy and science fiction in a way that you really don't see, and you especially don't see it nowadays, considering the fact that things have gotten way too realistic whenever it comes to certain aspects of gaming, and that's in any sort of gaming format. And that is honestly one of the major things that I love about AD&D, as well as early RPGs in the 80s and the 90s, was the fact that, well, the creative department got really creative, and things were a little funky every now and again. There were certainly your high fantasy, traditional Lord of the Rings style settings in AD&D, don't get me wrong. But then, whenever you actually look into it, it was much more like Magic the Gathering with their different planes and whatnot. There was Darth Gothic worlds, there was post-apocalypse, Mad Max-style worlds, there was like these Japanese-inspired worlds, Planescape, which was its own wacky thing, and of course Dungeons & Dragons in space with Spelljammer. Spelljammer is brought to us by designer Jeff Grubb. He also worked on other things with AD&D, which included Dragonlance as well as Forgotten Realms. This was also during a time before Wizards of the Coast bought out TSR. It was one of the last things that they really released before being bought out by the company that owns it now. And altogether, there were about 20 books that were in this thing, as well as 6 serial novels. So, to say that it was actually kind of a big deal in the past was a bit of an understatement. Spelljammer is a mashup of high fantasy and high fantasy science fiction, complete with ships that travel through the depths of space in a place called the Phlogiston, or the Flow, which acts as a sort of ocean of the world through which our intrepid explorers can travel through. Well, Spelljammer is the name of it as well, but it's also a very extremely large ship in this world, and it kind of functions as like the Flying Dutchman of lore, so to speak, for this world. And it's this big, gigantic manta ray, and on board with it was a city's worth of people operating this giant manta ray flying through space. But Spelljammer was not the only ship out there. As a matter of fact, ships come in various different shapes and sizes, and are piloted just by about anything that you can really think of. Just like in your standard D&D, dwarves and elves and gnomes and so forth do exist in this world, each of which has a very different style to them. Elves fly in giant armada ships that has a very serious solar punk vibe going on. Dwarves are flying around in ships that are, well, generally look like a giant fucking dwarf's head. Gnomes are bumbling tinkerers with ships with questionable builds. Interesting, but they certainly get in their own way, so to speak. You even have mind flayers and beholders in this world, and unlike your standard world, aka Toril in this case, beholders are a close community of phlogiston travelers, and they certainly do not get angry with each other, let's just say. Let's say that the beholder world is very, very friendly. And I mean, you even have some Spelljammer-specific races. For instance, the Githyanki showed up in Spelljammer, and they're pretty well known through about all of 5th edition at this point, to the point where they're even a playable race. But that isn't all. There is also a race of hippopotamus-like creatures that are very militaristic, called the Gith. And yes, the difference between Gith and Gith can be very tedious. But there's also a really cool penguin race of people called Doar, so there's a lot of variety in Spelljammer as well. And as far as ships are concerned, they go through massive changes, with some being small in the shape of like a mosquito, while others are actually like the size of traditional galleons that you would see in your standard pirate affair here on this planet. While they all differ in size and type, they all require spellcasters also to pilot them, which also bumps up the premium on having a spellcaster in your group to almost a necessity. And I mean, all things considered, it really isn't that much different from your standard D&D. I mean, you get on a ship, which you could get on in regular D&D, and you travel the world doing various assignments. Sure, certain things might be a little different, space battles might be a little bit different. You have to deal with gravity in this world, as well as the fact that the phlogiston is highly flammable. But all things considered, it's a really cool experience, and it's really, I think, one of the most unique settings that has ever been created in RPGs, period. Overall, I'm surprised that Spelljammer is not widely known and played even nowadays. It combines just about everything that nerds love in one big wild setting. Fantasy, pirates, space, battles. What more could a nerd ask for in this world? And yes, I do understand that a lot of people still enjoy and play Spelljammer, but I'm talking about like massive levels of gameplay here. Why there isn't a book on level with things like Waterdeep Dragon Heist and Curse of Strahd. Like, Spelljammer is that fucking good. While giving it a crit is a little funky, considering this isn't actually an official game, it certainly is a crit-worthy piece of D&D lore, and I really hope that it actually gets a huge update and is brought into 5th edition sometime very soon. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. And once again, to plug just one more time, if you happen to be in northeastern Ohio or western Pennsylvania this next weekend, October 5th, 2019, please come to Con on the Cob. Also come to our party, which is the Spellhammered Pirate Party, featuring 2D6, who does my intro. I promise you, if you are over the legal drinking age of 21, it is going to be a fantastic time. 2D6 are raring to go. It's just going to be a great experience. We have our own specially made drinks and everything. So please come join us. And also, whenever it comes out, please check out our new podcast as well, which is a Spelljammer themed podcast called Tales of the Voidfarer. Thank you all so much for watching.